Welcome to Beyond the Box Score, where numbers breathe, strategies unfold, and basketball becomes war. Tonight, we're diving deep into what might just be the turning point of the 2025 NBA Finals. The stage is shifting, the crowd is changing, and so is the momentum. The Indiana Pacers and Oklahoma City Thunder are tied at one game apiece. But let's be clear, this isn't just about wins and losses anymore. This is about legacy. This is about grit. And this is about who shows up when the lights get hotter and the pressure boils over. Game 1 was a buzzer-beating, heart-snatching masterclass from Tyrese Haliburton. The Thunder watched helplessly as the Pacers stole it at the last second, 111-110, behind a fearless, no-hesitation deep three from their young superstar. The basketball world was stunned. Pundits questioned OKC's readiness, their youth, their clutch poise. But that was just the beginning. Because Game 2, that was a statement, a warning, and perhaps a preview of what the Thunder are truly made of. In Game 2, Oklahoma City responded not with panic, but with poise. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander erupted for 34 points. Chet Holmgren, before tweaking his foot late in the third quarter, showed why he's the defensive cornerstone of their dynasty in the making. The final score, 123-107, was not just a win, it was a thunderclap of confidence. And now the series heads to Indianapolis. Gainbridge Fieldhouse awaits. That arena will be loud, hostile, desperate, because Indiana knows what's at stake. Before we get into tactical breakdowns, let's set the table with what you need to know. Going into Game 3, the numbers, the matchups, the injury status, the odds. Then we'll give you our official, bold prediction for what's about to go down. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Let's talk momentum. One of the oldest cliches in sports is, momentum doesn't carry over from game to game. But in the NBA playoffs, especially in the finals, momentum isn't just a feeling. It's a tangible force. It dictates rotations. It influences shooting confidence. It affects whistles. And after Game 2, all of it favors Oklahoma City. Let's rewind the clock. When the Pacers won Game 1, they did so by hitting shots that defied logic. Haliburton's late-game heroics came off broken defensive coverage and a step back so deep you'd think it belonged in All-Star Weekend, not the NBA Finals. But that's Haliburton's magic. He makes the improbable look easy. Still, Game 2 exposed some serious flaws for Indiana. Their bench was outscored 46-27, their transition defense was non-existent, and their shooting, which bailed them out in Game 1, went cold when it mattered. Pascal Siakam looked human. Aaron Nesmith and Obi Toppin disappeared, and even Haliburton, despite his brilliance, began to show signs of fatigue when doubled and pressured at the half-court line. The Thunder? They looked loose, confident, almost like they belonged, because they do. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is averaging 33.7 points per game in the finals. He's shooting 58% from the field and getting to his spots effortlessly. His footwork, his mid-range hesitation game, it's surgical. He's not just scoring, he's manipulating the defense. And Indiana has no answers. Lou Dort's defense on Haliburton deserves its own segment. Caruso's minutes have helped stabilize the perimeter defense when he's been healthy, and Jalen Williams has been the unsung hero making the extra pass, drawing mismatches, and cutting like a surgeon through Indiana's confused rotations. Let's talk numbers. From an advanced stats perspective, Oklahoma City is winning the pace battle even when they play slower. Their defensive rating in Game 2 was 98.7, absurd for a finals game. Indiana's effective field goal percentage dropped from 59.2% in Game 1 to just 51.0% in Game 2. Why? Because OKC clogged the driving lanes, protected the corners, and forced Haliburton to give up the ball early. Another big factor? Rebounding. With Holmgren in the lineup, the Thunder held a +8 rebounding advantage. When he sat, that margin evaporated. So what's his Game 3 status? As of the latest injury reports from NBA.com and ESPN's Brian Windhorst, Chet Holmgren is probable for Game 3. He's dealing with a minor plantar strain, nothing long-term, and sources close to the team say he will play. The Thunder medical staff is monitoring his minutes, but he's expected to suit up and start. For the Pacers, Jarace Walker remains out, Isaiah Jackson is still doubtful, and Andrew Nembhard is battling a mild wrist sprain, though he's also expected to play. Tony Bradley and Kendall Brown are listed as inactive. No surprises there. So we're looking at mostly full rosters, minor pain thresholds, and maximum stakes. Now let's hit the betting odds. DraftKings has the Thunder favored by 4.5 points despite being on the road. That's rare. Historically, home teams down 0, one then tied one in the finals are favored by odds makers, but not this time. Why? Momentum, metrics, matchups. The over-under is set at 228.5, with heavy money leaning toward the over, based on the idea that the Game 1 and 2 combined for an average of 225. But beware, Game 3s usually slow down, especially with travel legs and early nerves. As of this writing, 63% of public bets are on the Thunder to cover. That's high, very high, which could mean one of two things: a blowout by the Thunder, or a market overreaction based on Game 2's scoreline. We'll break down the betting pick later in this script, and trust me, you'll want to stay for that. Right now, let's zoom in on one of the most underrated chess matches happening in this series, the battle of adjustments between Mark Daigneault and Rick Carlisle. Carlisle's Game 1 play calling was masterful. He spread the floor, trusted Haliburton in isolation, and used stagger screens to free Nesmith and Mathurin for catch-and-shoot threes. But Daigneault countered like a 3D chess champion in Game 2. He began switching more aggressively. He rotated early help on weak side cuts, and he empowered Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins to bring pressure full court, disrupting Indiana's pace from the very first pass. Carlisle now must answer. Expect Indiana to do the following in Game 3. 1. Haliburton will play off the ball more in the first half, letting Nembhard initiate sets. 2. Siakam will get post touches early to test Holmgren's foot and lateral mobility. 3. The Pacers will use more zone looks to try and hide their defensive mismatches against OKC's wings. As for OKC, expect more high horn sets, flare screens for Joe and Dort, and stagger minutes for SGA to maximize shot creation without overloading Haliburton's defense. And what about the X factors? For Indiana, it has to be Aaron Nesmith. He had 0 points in Game 2. That cannot happen again. If he can give them 10, 12 points and play passable wing defense, the game changes. For OKC, it's Jalen Williams. If he scores 20-plus with efficient shooting, the Thunder are almost unbeatable. We're halfway through this breakdown, and now it's time to shift gears. In Part 2, we'll dive into deep strategy, matchup exploits, minute distribution, and then drop our official final prediction for Game 3, including the projected score, star stats, and betting angles. Don't go anywhere, the story is only beginning.